The title might put people off initially, but if you look at the origins, there are at least three threads that lead to this. One is, if people know this, but they choose to ignore it, profits are not a very helpful measure for decision-making in managerial contexts, especially accounting profits, because accounting profits do not map well onto economic profits. Economic profits, true profits, are really based on a notion of opportunity costs, and accounting profits are based on historical costs. Accounting profits are based on a whole series of rules and regulations and expectations that do not necessarily allow the reported information to map perfectly onto economic ideas. I mean, if you take the recent discussion about mark-to-market, and you change the rule and the profits change. So what is the true profit here? It's very difficult to determine. And if you take measures like ROI, it's also open to manipulation in a variety of ways. And if you have, I'm sorry, I'm going to get technical for a second, but if you have a full cost accounting system, you can manipulate your profits by increasing the volume of production, even if you do not sell anything. So there are lots of problems with profits. Let's set that aside. The second driver for this project is the recognition that qualitative considerations, if I could phrase it that way, have a direct impact on profit. I mean, of late, people have realized that paying attention to environmental sustainability has a positive impact on the bottom line. If you look at quality, 25 years ago, the American auto companies didn't pay attention to quality, thinking it cost them money. But they realized along the way quality is, quote, free, and now they realize that quality has an immediate and continuing impact, positive impact on the bottom line. Similarly, issues such as safety, which for companies like Alcoa as number one, has not only a long-term impact on the sustainability of the organization, it also has an immediate impact on the bottom line. I can go on talking about other factors such as social sustainability and so on. Diversity, again, as people are beginning to realize, that's an extraordinarily positive thing. So there's a whole series of qualitative factors that are not only, in a sense, a good way of doing business, but have a positive impact on the bottom line. The third notion that is driving this project is the understanding that I think was captured best by my good friend C.K. Prahalad, who wrote this book called The Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid. And it's really a notion that when you deal with new customer segments that you might traditionally have seen as incapable of buying your products because they're not that well off, actually, when you try to address these low-income segments, two things happen. One is technological innovation results. The second thing is you actually end up making money because when you work to a price point, when you try to understand the needs of these customers, there's not too much competition from other organizations, and there are companies that are literally making billions by serving the needs of low-income populations in countries where these low-income segments are extraordinarily large. We're talking about 700 million people in India who traditionally have been ignored by American companies. So when you start working with them, technological innovation results, and you develop products and services that actually feed back and improve your ability to compete at the upper ends of the the customer segments that have a lot more money. So if you look at trying to, in a sense, do good, quote unquote, by working with lower income segments, it has an immediate impact on your bottom line, and it also improves your ability to compete in the other customer segments, and we have case studies that demonstrate that. There is one more notion which I think everybody would buy, which is you can't make decisions today without thinking about the global context. So let's put all these together. Profits are not really an excellent measure of, excellent basis for making managerial decisions. Qualitative factors, which actually work out to fall into the characteristic of humaneness. If you look at the dictionary definition, where you look at quality, safety, diversity, environmental and social sustainability, and so on. And the third thing is when you start looking at humankind, so to speak, look at the whole globe and you look at multiple customer segments, you put all that together, you put humaneness and humankind together, you get the word humanity. You look up Webster, it's humaneness and humankind. And so, in a sense, when you say the business of humanity, what we are trying to suggest is something very different than my colleagues in the corporate social responsibility field are suggesting, where they take the point of view that these are the right things to do because they are a moral imperative or an ethical requirement. The project that we are focusing on is trying to demonstrate to companies that this is not just the ethical thing to do, it's the economically right thing to do. The amount of enthusiasm and support it has generated. I discovered that funding this project is not at all a problem. In fact, the university is funding it, but there were, let's say, at least a couple of other agencies that expressed a very strong interest in supporting this. But this is something the university understands is important, and Dr. Klinsing and the University Research Council are supporting this, and the dean at our school is supporting this. So, and we have, again, our faculty especially in our strategy, environment, and organizations group being extraordinarily supportive of this. So, and beyond that, we have attracted faculty from the schools of engineering, public and international affairs, and so on, who are deeply engaged in the project. So, the amount of enthusiasm and ready acceptance of the project has perhaps been very, very gratifying, but also a little bit surprising. I'm so very excited about the project, and we have already seen valuable results. Just the case studies alone that are emerging from the project have justified the project in terms of providing very unusual and very interesting and intriguing material for classroom discussion. And I think with the support we've been getting from industry, from the university, from all our colleagues, I think this project is the right one in the right place at the right time.